Welcome to the IT Career Energizer podcast. For anyone who wants to build and grow a career in IT, develop and improve your strengths and skills, be inspired and motivated by the successes of others, manage your career progression, and achieve your IT career goals. And now, your host, Phil Burgess.
Welcome to episode 121 of the IT Career Energizer podcast. My guest on today's show is Charlie Gerard. Charlie is a software developer at ThoughtWorks in Sydney. Charlie is passionate about creative technologies, creative coding, hardware, and the Internet of Things. And Charlie is a mentor at General Assembly, building projects and writing tutorials to share what she has learned. So Charlie, can I ask you to expand on that brief introduction and tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Sure. So let's say as a software developer by day, I build websites or applications for different clients because we're a consultancy. So I get to change projects from here and then. But on my own time, I like to explore technology that I don't get to work with at work. So that involves building prototypes with Arduino or trying a bit of maybe VR in the browser or experimenting with that types of technology so I can still have exposure of what's going on in the industry.
Was there a deliberate move to do something in addition to your day-to-day work, to learn something different?
Yeah, exactly.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've been a developer for about 4.5 years. I think because before I'm actually a career changer and I used to be in marketing as a project manager. So I switched about 4.5 years ago.
Right. Okay. I'm sure we'll come back to that later in the interview, but yeah, cool. Okay. So Charlie, can you maybe share a career tip with the IT Career Energizer audience, one they may not know and perhaps should?
There's a tip that I kind of wish I knew a few years ago, and I think it's something that I heard in a talk that I watched a few weeks ago. And this person was saying, never let people know you're good at something you don't want to do. And I think when you start your career, you try to, let's say, please everybody, and sometimes you accept to either work on projects that you actually don't really want to do, but you're just trying to either prove yourself or please people. So, for example, I think sometimes I get asked to do to focus on the CSS part of a project, and I already know how to do that, and it's not really what I want to focus on. And I think I made the mistake to make people know that I was pretty good at it. So now sometimes I get asked to only do that, which is not really. I mean, in the growth of your career, you want to focus on other things. So I think if you know what you want to focus on and what you don't want to do, I think focus on trying to let people know what you want to do, not what you're already good at if you want to be able to grow.
That's interesting to hear, actually. So there's another argument towards that in terms of the ability to be able to say no. So as well as maybe not letting on that you're good at something that you don't want to do, but it's the ability when they do know that to actually be able to say, no, that's not what I want to do or
yes.
what I'm here to do. So yeah, that's
it is really hard. But.
It is, exactly, yeah. Fine. Okay. So Charlie, can you maybe tell us about your worst IT career moment and what you learned from that experience?
I'm going to have to be careful not to mention any names. But it was a few years ago. I was in a team where the amount of work was way too much for one person, but I didn't really have the choice, and it went to a point where I was sometimes working 70 hours a week, and I really like work-life balance. I think it's really important, but at the time I didn't really have the opportunity to cut down the work, or it's somewhere where I wish I had been able to say no. And it got to a point where I was giving one of my first conference talks. And I made sure to finish all the work that needed to be done before I went to the conference. But when I woke up in the morning, there was 20 more Trello cards on the board, and I still had to work on it. And it was like a really stressful moment where I had to decide if I had to do what was best for me or what was best for the project. And in the end, I realized that the project can wait half a day for you to do what you have to do for your personal career, and then come back to the project and fix some bugs, because they were not that terrible. It was just some small UI changes, but when you're responsible for them, you feel like they're way bigger than they actually are. And what I ended up doing is actually putting my work aside for just half a day so I could prepare my talk and actually enjoy being able to speak at a conference. So I definitely learned at that moment that saying no is sometimes essential. You have to remember that you have to do what is best for you as well when work can wait a little bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, that's really good advice in terms of understanding and sometimes stepping back and taking a different view of what your priorities are at any one time.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially because I should have probably talked to my team a bit before about the fact that the amount of work was not sustainable for one person. But it's the same thing when you want to prove yourself to the company or that you prove that you can do it. Sometimes you accept things without realizing the impact that it has to you on you as a person.
Okay, so moving away from your worst moment, can you maybe take us to your career highlight or greatest success?
I feel like my career is still pretty short at the moment, but I think my greatest achievement is to have been able to speak at some conferences, and sometimes some of the conferences that I really like JSConf EU in Berlin. I actually couldn't believe that they accepted one of my talk proposals. So I went there last year, and I'm really proud of that because I used to be very shy, and the idea of being on stage was just terrifying. And I feel like as I started saying yes to more opportunities, I got more comfortable, and now I have this experience and I can share it with others. And I'm trying to help some of my friends get more comfortable with writing proposals and preparing their talks and getting on stage. And it's definitely something that I'm quite proud of and I've worked a lot on.
Yeah, I mean, is this something you recommend to other people that they should try?
I know that it sounds really scary, and it's maybe not an essential thing to have in a career, but it's definitely a really nice challenge where you also learn about yourself. You learn that you're scared to be on stage, but once you're there, the excitement of sharing what you know takes over, and you forget the fear of being on stage, and especially you realize that in general, people want you to succeed.
Yes.
The audience doesn't really want you to fail. They're here to support you. And if something goes wrong, usually people even start, applauding just to make sure that you have the support that you need. So it is definitely a good experience. And I would encourage people to try, even if I understand that it can be scary.
Yeah, I presume it's something you intend to do more of as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think I want to get better at it. It is a skill like any other. I think being able to build a talk a certain way is a skill, and also finding ways to explain concepts in an easy way so anybody can understand is definitely something that you can then bring back to work. And also, even in terms of building your personal brand, I really believe that it is something that that is important as well. So there's so many different good things that can happen out of speaking at a conference compared to the only bad thing that could happen is that you feel like you failed your talk. In general, it's not really like that though.
So Charlie, what excites you about the future of the IT industry and careers in IT in particular?
I think what I'm really excited about is the possibility offered by new technologies. I think I'm right now. I'm mainly thinking about machine learning and about all the things that it can offer, but also in terms of human-computer interaction and maybe thinking outside of the laptop or of the mobile phone, but thinking about how technology can adapt to as people rather than us having to learn how the technology works. I'm really excited about that type of things in IT.
Right. Are there any particular technologies that you are or have a particular interest in?
I have been looking into neurotechnology for a little bit, but it's something that is quite out of my depth. So I'm learning as I go, and I try to teach people along the way. But otherwise, I think everything related to definitely machine learning and maybe trying to pair it with hardware and trying to build experiences where a device could learn from your movements rather than you having to understand how it works.
Yeah,
for example.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's so much potential, isn't there, with the technology that's out there. We just don't know where it could take us. So, yeah, I think you've touched on a good couple there. Okay, we're going to go into the reveal round now. We're going to find out a little bit more about you and the way you think. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
So what first attracted you to a career in IT?
At first, I was interested in being able to help my development team when I was a project manager at the time. I was interested in trying to able to unload some of the work that they had. But once I started coding, I think I got really interested in being able to bring any idea that you have to life. To me, that's the real power of it. Definitely that.
And what is the best career advice you've ever received?
I'm not sure if it's an advice, but I remember having a conversation with a friend where I had been asked if I wanted to write a book, and I was a bit hesitating because I wasn't sure what I wanted to write about. And I was asking a friend what he was thinking, and what he told me is that remember that if you don't do it, somebody else will. And it kind of hit me, and I was like, yes, like true. If somebody else will, because I was scared to do it, then I will be a bit upset at myself for not giving it a go. I still haven't written a book, but I've used that advice in other occasions where if I realize that I don't do something because I'm scared, I have to remember that, how am I going to feel if they actually give that opportunity to somebody else because I was scared? I don't know if that makes sense. But
no, it does. Absolutely. If you were to begin your IT career again right now, what would you do?
I think I would definitely learn the fundamentals earlier. Having done a boot camp, I think I focused more on being able to build something fast without always understanding how the technology works in the background. And I have had to do that later on, and I'm really focusing on it now to be able to have a bigger and a better understanding of the technology and why things work a certain way. So if I could try start again, I think I would pick up the fundamentals a bit earlier.
And what career objectives are you currently focusing on?
I think related to that, my current objective is to grow my technical knowledge. I've done a lot of front end since I started my career, but I'm really interested in maybe learning a bit more about back-end technologies. I used to I used to be more full stack, but I kind of slowly drifted towards more front end, and I want to be able to have an opinion about a whole system. I want to focus on learning more about certain backend languages or even things like DevOps and all the cloud technologies. I want to be able to understand how the whole thing works. So that's what I'm focusing on at the moment.
Right. So broadening your knowledge across multiple disciplines, really.
Yeah, definitely.
What's the number one non-technical skill that has helped you in your career so far?
Well, definitely communication. That is something that to me is really important. And maybe especially because as a consultant, I'm talking to clients quite often, and I have to make sure that they understand why certain things are possible and not others. But even if I wasn't a consultant, even if I was more working in a product company, being able to communicate with the rest of your team and being able to talk about technology and not only work, on your side is something that is definitely really important. I wouldn't want to work with somebody who only is really good technically but can't actually communicate. Everything we build is teamwork, so it definitely needs communication.
Charlie, can you share a parting piece of career advice with the IT Career Energizer audience?
To me, one of the really important parts of being in IT as well is to network. Networking is not only when you meet somebody at a meetup and you hope to find a job. It's also, you can learn a lot of things from other people. So for example, if you are working in a company and you only work in technologies like Java, for example, networking allows you to understand what other people are working on and maybe the other technologies that you should be looking at. And it can also bring you some opportunities. It could also give you new job opportunities as well. But apart from that, also just building your personal brand and being able to learn from other people is definitely something that I would advise everybody to do.
Yep, absolutely. And finally, what's the best way we can find out more about you and connect with you?
I use Twitter a lot to share either things that I build or things that other people build that I find really interesting. So I'm on Twitter at DevCharlie. Otherwise, on GitHub, I post all the open source project that I work on. So if you want to have a better idea of the type of prototypes that I build on my personal time, I think on GitHub, I am at Charlie Gerard.
Charlie, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. It's been great chatting with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I hope you enjoyed listening in to today's episode and to my guest career tips, advice and experiences. You'll find a show notes page for today's episode on the IT Career Energizer website, which will be itcareerenergizer.com/e and then the number of today's episode. And a quick reminder that the show has now 3 episodes every week on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. So make sure that you are subscribed to the show to get new episodes automatically downloaded. Also, don't forget to join the IT Career Energizer Community Facebook group. You'll get to engage with other like-minded people, get to find out more about upcoming guests and other episodes, and can get involved in the future direction of the podcast. It really is a great pleasure to be able to talk to so many inspirational people from across the industry and to be able to share their stories and advice with you. Thanks for listening, and remember, if you're not growing your career, you're slowing your career.
Thanks for listening to the IT Career Energizer podcast. To find out more about building a successful career in IT, visit itcareerenergizer.com.